to Parallel Paths, a podcast where two very wonderful women share their lives and musings from the lens of authenticity, vulnerability, spirituality, and of course, humor. I'm your host, Kelsey, and here I am with
Ashley. That was
Ashley!
so good.
I mean,
Did
just,
you see my jaw drop?
her jaw dropped.
Yay, welcome back, everybody.
Something like that. I have a life update. Okay, it's not that big. Well, for me it is. I have come across an owl, three separate owls, 3 owls in the past couple of weeks, including last night. I was 95% asleep and I was sitting in my bed. I had flown from Arizona, so I was kind of tired. And then I'm like, is that an owl calling for me outside my window? It's like, I think this is an owl. And the whole lore, I've been texting my twin brother a ton about it because we have this app called Merlin. And do you know what
I
Merlin
have
is?
Merlin.
Of course.
Merlin
Does
bird
she know
ID.
who Merlin is? Come on. For anyone listening that doesn't know,
Yes.
Merlin is an app where you press play and your phone app can record the sounds of bird calls and then tells you which bird you're hearing. Super fun. I really like Merlin.
Highly recommend.
It's a net huge positive on my life since I've had it.
Yeah.
So I came across an owl, told my brother all about it. He was very excited for me. It was a great horned owl. I think 2, maybe 3 days later, I come across a sound. I'm not sure if it's a bird. It's so strange. The great horned owl sounds like an owl, right? The next sound I hear, I was like, is that?
Mimic it right now.
It was like, ah! No, that sounds like a bird. I can't do it. It was way weirder than that, but it was much higher pitched. It
Okay.
was like screaming, screeching.
Okay.
That's it. So I grab Merlin by the horns. I'm like, is this a bird? Eastern screech owl. I'm like,
Eastern screech owl, of course.
Eastern screech. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And that occurred in such a short time span. My brother's like, wow, it's pretty cool. Then to hear this sound, this is back to great horned owl, so it's giving owl. Great horned owls sound like owls, and then Eastern screech owls sound like
screechy.
Maybe a hurt giraffe or something. Screechy. So it doesn't record from my bed. I'm thinking I cannot miss this opportunity to know that an owl is
this
calling
in
for me outside
Arizona
my
or
window.
here?
Here in
Okay.
Austin.
Okay, wow.
So which is where I saw the other owl. So I race outside, press play, great horned owl, and then I don't hear it ever again. So because I had been hearing it for like a minute or two, I was seriously mostly asleep, but I woke up like, bro, is that an owl? Isn't that special? I'm pretty amped about it.
That's so special. Tell me everything that you learned about the symbolism of owls.
See, that's
or at least what really stood out.
Okay. Well, and when we got to Eastern Screech Owl, I was completely into all of the online recommendations of what owls symbolize. You know, animal symbols are so much what you think the animal represents, right? Like if you're scared of snakes or you're obsessed with snakes and it's your childhood special interest, snakes might mean something totally different, but snakes kind of universally mean change, right? They shed their skin. So owls clearly mean universally wisdom, these types of things. Owls, there's a lot of information from different cultures about them sort of like hearkening in new eras. So that's kind of how I'm taking it, is where I'm in a big transition. Yeah. And then owls are like famously magical creatures and beings. So I'm taking it as I have a lot of extra spiritual support and guidance and oversight as I'm transitioning my life from a career perspective. And and by career for me, that's my life. I've spent most of my waking minutes at work for the past 15 years. So yeah.
Same. It's so much of our identity. And I feel like most people feel that way. Maybe not. Maybe that's me projecting a little bit, but it's a huge part of our life and day and time. Also, how cool that everyone listening to this podcast gets to follow this transition with you. And here's like, oh my gosh, a few weeks ago it was a bunny and now it's an owl and we have this we have a transition. But literally, I agree.
Podcast, I was like, I'm crashing out. I think I have to change my life, right? So when I'm in the pocket in my new journey next year, just talking about that, like it's chill, they'll know. Well, if they go back and listen.
Yeah. I also want to know what in the pocket means. Does that mean like I have it in the bag or like I'm really locked into this thing?
I'm laughing because you're not the first person to ask me
You've
about
been
this.
saying it a few weeks and I've just been like kind of
I
like
know.
taking
Apparently, I
context.
always say that. In the pocket, yeah, in the bag. It's pretty much that.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't
I
know if that's a universal thing. It's just what it's a Kelseyism.
It's Kelseyism. Kelseyisms. Putting that in the show notes. The
Hashtag merch.
isms that came out today, from the autisms to the Kelseyisms,
To
um,
the Ashleyisms.
to the Ashleyisms. Okay, so you were saying like there's the kind of universally accepted meaning for each of like for animals, and I so agree, but I always prefer what I find from Google. I feel that my guides and angels are heavily involved in my technology.
Mm-hmm.
Music and Google searches. If I just put
Mm-hmm.
an intention to like get a message through that, it's going to be something so specific to me. So
I
like
agree.
an owl being a new era, for you to find that is so meant for you and such a just like compounding. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
It's pretty cool. I agree. It's sort of like an oracle card, right?
Mm,
Where you pull a card and your guides are speaking to the card. You're like, I'm going to search this, and whatever pops up. I'm open to infinite universes where the one universe that this is the top search might not be the top search result in every universe. So yeah, agree.
right. Right.
Yeah, pretty excited. Have you seen
Amazing.
any animals recently?
I've been seeing scorpions a lot. Yeah,
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa. Where?
In my garage. And I think that is symbolic too, that they keep showing up in my garage. I think that's
Tell
weird.
me, tell me, tell me.
I told my neighbor this. I was like, yeah, I had a baby rattlesnake in my garage, first of all. And she was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, and of course, scorpions. And she's like, no way, I've never seen a scorpion. And I was like, what? And she's my next door neighbor. Well,
Wow.
then I was like, oh, this is for sure for me. I don't know if I searched it or if I forgot what it meant, but I have not looked into garage symbolism. I think that's clocking right now that I keep seeing them in
Mm.
there. And so I wonder in feng shui what the garage is.
Totally need that. I'm so interested. I want to Google it,
Should we
but we
Google
can
it?
talk.
Marty,
Just Google
no,
it.
we
No,
shouldn't.
no, Google it. Please. I'm
Do you
so
have do you
curious.
have another like update or something that you can be sharing while I Google?
Totally. Yeah. The update is, man, I'm okay. I have while you're Googling it, I have a segment I want to introduce to the pod. So I'll just let our listeners know. I want to introduce a segment where we say, this week, I'm proud of myself for, and then we both share something we're proud of ourselves for. And then our listeners email in or message in. And then we're reading what our listeners are proud of themselves for. And that can become a thing for the pod. Thoughts?
Yes.
Isn't that
100%.
cute?
I thought you were going to intro the segment we were going to do today. I love this so much. Can we
Isn't
start
that a
with
good
this with
idea?
each other and then we'll open the comments for that and start doing it?
Yeah.
Amazing. I was listening too much that I wasn't Googling. Okay. In feng shui, what do garages symbolize? Garages impact. Ooh, it's a mouth for energy. It represents
Interesting.
transition always. Everything always
Truly.
represents transition. Preparation and potential stagnation. It's the gateway for vehicles, which is life's journeys, but it can become cluttered dumping ground for material excess, negatively impacting the home's overall energy. Well, you heard it here first. Don't let your garage get cluttery.
Which stinks because everyone's garage is cluttery, but I digress.
Honestly, not
Listen,
to flex, but mine is not.
there we go. It's just full of scorpions and rattlesnakes,
Yeah.
psycho.
What's really standing out is mouth and potential stagnation. Maybe we can touch on it next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say just first blush, scorpions. I think of the sign Scorpio, your moon,
Right.
which is associated with your depth, your shadow, your subconscious. So my first thought would be mouth speaking and this
Mm.
depth, like maybe an invitation to go into sort of your shadow and depth, but have it become more outward where you're speaking it more readily to certain audiences or people or clients or
Mm.
whoever, your partner. But
That's so
you
good.
see what hits for you.
That resonates. Okay,
Ooh.
so what was the other part I said? Potential stagnation? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that clocks. And that's kinda what you
We
were
saw
saying.
that. I would think would be stagnation such as the not speaking of some of those
Mhm.
like shadowy, deep topics. Think
Mm,
about it. But if you have any insights over the week, tell us next week. That's
okay.
interesting.
Amazing. Okay, what are you proud of yourself for this week?
I shouldn't have introduced a segment without thinking of my answer. So, okay, I've got one. What I'm proud of myself for, the job that is not a incredible fit, corporate America job I'm in, I've set some pretty good boundaries on things that I was not going to do that aren't what I got hired for, weren't a part of the role, not where I am in my career, knowing that there might be a little bit of pushback. And there's been way more pushback. Like, for example, one of the analysts came to my office and made a comment about how if people are overseeing analysts, they should be able to do the work and drive things over the finish line if they don't get done. And I don't know if he was coming for me or if he was trying to just say that globally and didn't think that that would seem inappropriate to me if I wasn't going to jump in and do the modeling and stuff. But I would have formerly had this impulse to just feel shame and bad, like I should have jumped in more, or maybe I don't know how to do this anymore. And I
Mm,
was kind of stressing about it. So the other thing I'm happy and proud of is I talked to a friend about it. I felt kind of triggered. And then instead of just internalizing it and being hard on myself, I just worked through it with a friend. And then I was like, I'm glad
yay.
I didn't say, no, let me come help you, or I'm so sorry I haven't
You
jumped
didn't.
in. I just said, well, interestingly, in the breadth of my career, the analysts do take the analytics for the team. So I'm not surprised that those responsibilities sit with the analyst team. And just looked at him. So I kept the boundary. Yeah. And
Good.
even the CEO kind of, there was just a lot of pressure to do things that I did not get hired for and that I clearly stated that I don't do at this point in my career, that I'm not excellent at, that isn't the right skill set for me to utilize. And despite all the pressure up, down, I'm just like, I'm not going to just feel shame and do stuff that I'm not gonna that I didn't want to do and that I communicated I wouldn't be doing.
Kelsey, that's big.
It's hard. It's a lot came up with that, man. But I'm proud of me.
And
Yeah.
you went 2 layers in that 1 week of, like, first you stood up for it, and then it was like, "Oh, well, should I just buckle up and do I've stood my ground, should I just do it now?" No. Like, you
Right.
stayed firm, doubled down. That's so cool.
Like we should just hire people to do that or we should talk about a solution,
Yeah.
but it was awkward. I'm proud of me though. I think it's a lot of conditioning for women and especially high performers and overachievers to just assume that they should always be
Mm,
picking up the pieces or they're always in the wrong.
mhm.
And so if you're someone like me out there, just because people are projecting things onto you, it's probably their own ego. You might
Yeah,
be totally good, but you have to stay solid and that's hard. How about
yeah.
you? What are you proud of?
Um, what am I proud of this week? Rest. Real rest. I This is actually pretty big. Okay, so I tore my hamstring on Tuesday, everybody, doing pole dancing. I was doing a foot mount, so imagine a pole here, okay? I have my 2 arms right here, and my foot is coming up and it's pushing right here. And as I'm pushing on that foot, my other foot's going back, and I, like, turn to look through my hands, and that rotation, heard a pop, tear, tear, down I went. Ugh, so bad. Anyways, I am okay. This week though, I have had to do nothing, and the way that all of the shoulds in my mind were still so loud of like, how can I do it with this injury? Just brought me to this place of like, wow, this is what I've been trying to do all year is find this balance between rest and work, and identify with my work so much. So It's been really beautiful. And I'm proud of myself for, I feel like I could really get into this, but for the sake of all the topics we want to hit today, I won't. I'm really proud of myself for listening and asking, like, what is this here to teach me and to serve me? Because I know it is. Like, this is not an accident.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
there was more, and like being served and letting Kyle step up. There was a whole bunch that came up.
Mm.
So my really what I'm proud of is listening to it and letting it be a blessing. And it's only 5 days and I have learned so much from it and have gotten so many insights and ahas. So I'm grateful for my hamstring for taking the fall for me to learn some deep lessons.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened. I keep wanting to time travel to Tuesday when you've had your appointment. I just want answers for you. And I'm like, I need to chill.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you though. Well, so you're proud of both the rest and learning and listening to
Mm,
your body.
yes.
And you pivoted to gratitude, which is so iconic.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for I'm grateful actually for my body. I'm proud of your body and your gratitude. It's
Proud
good
I
though.
rested. Yes.
Good job. Good job. Well,
Yay.
a consistent theme of this podcast, how our bodies constantly try to help us and teach us and protect us, and how hard it is to rest. I too get myself in a bind to finally rest. So we got to work on that, but
For real.
I'm proud of you. I love it.
I love it. Okay, should we
Okay,
do our
so
questions since we're on this like kick of usually
yes.
we interrupt our
Yes.
topic with a game or questions or something, but I kind of want to start with it.
Okay, let's do questions for
Let's
sure.
do it. Okay, so
So,
another
context for
segment.
listeners. Yeah.
Yes, another segment.
Segment is I found a list of questions and I don't even remember where now, but they were like questions to ask yourself towards the end of the year, right? Just some
Mhm.
things to contemplate as we're wrapping up 2025. So there are 40, and I just shot them to Ashley and said, if we want to just pick numbers or pick a couple of these, this could be fun because they're pretty good questions. So that's what it is.
Yes.
I think I saw it on Twitter or something, but
Oh yeah,
Ashley,
I guess we can't really give the credit. We don't know where it was from. That's okay.
I deeply apologize, but my text thread deleted somehow in Mercury retrograde, and I have no idea where I got them. So, do
So
you
we're
want
gonna
or do you
do
want
one or
to?
two questions for each other every week in December as we reflect on the year and go into the new year. Yay.
Yes, I'm
Okay,
excited.
can I ask you first?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right, we'll start off with a light one. What is the best book you read this year?
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I need to think of the name of it. I saw online. Shoot. I'm gonna have to figure it out and then have you add it below in the notes because I can't
Yeah.
remember right now. But it's a book about this basically sort of dystopian future where all of these women were jailed, and basically all of the women except the main character had some memories of their pre-life, which was normal kind of our world now, but they got like kind of jailed, but they weren't beat. They had like beds and food and accommodations, but these just jailers. So they were in this world where but the transition from their normal life to this jail thing just was a blink of an eye. Like there was something with their brains that kind of erased that transition memory. So they all just wake up and they're like, what is going on? Anyway, and then the main character though she was the youngest by far of the cohort. So she had been born there. I think maybe someone was pregnant or they took like a little tiny baby in the transition. Actually, I don't think she had a mom. So anyway, so she had no perspective of our social conditioning from living in the world that we know. So anyway, it was just they ended up like escaping and there were some things, but it was a lot about what forms a personality in the absence of our social conditioning or your
Mm,
relationship like you and Kyle or even me and Ollie, like in the
mm,
absence of the relationships that form us and the social conditioning of our time, who are you? And it was super cool. So
wow.
anyway, I will find the actual name of that and then we'll add it below. But it was cool. Okay.
I'm gonna read
I will
it.
start. I'll give you one. I didn't pick it out in advance, so it's cool. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Or maybe we can add the name of it here. And by we, you, because I don't edit and she does.
Here it is. Yeah, I'll put some text on the screen.
Okay. Question for you. and you can pass if you want a different one if you don't have an answer. What was your favorite? What was your favorite meal?
My favorite meal? In South France, I had a seafood pizza. It was phenomenal. I don't even know what seafood was on it. It was very squid calamari like. It was so good. Probably also just delicious because I don't usually eat gluten, so all the gluten I
Mm.
consumed out there was just like hitting different.
Gluten high, we rise. That's excellent. Okay, do you want to do
Okay.
one more?
Yep. What is one thing that would have made your year immeasurably more satisfying?
Ooh,
It's a
I'm
good
glad I didn't think.
question, huh?
Yeah, I don't. I'm glad I didn't think too crazy about the answers before. What would have made the year more satisfying? I would say for me, so I've had a transition year. I was working a corporate job. I resigned from it. I rested a little bit. I took another one. All of these phases, I was sort of unsettled in a bit of a liminal space, knowing I want this different
Mm,
future. This isn't it. Even though the resting phase, I was sick. I wasn't sure if I was going to go back to corporate at all or not. So I would say a lot more presence would have
mm.
made the year better, where I could just see where my feet were instead of feeling sort of like, hey, I'm in this liminal space, so I'll just be kind of unsettled here knowing that this isn't right. So more presence would have always will be something that would have helped me, but it's very challenging.
Yeah, always. Same. That was reading that question, I was thinking about it too, and virtually the same answer. Like
Yeah,
it always adds such a different layer of deliciousness to life. But
totally.
life's kind of, we came down to earth to not experience our unlimitedness. We are an unlimited soul. We came here to be bound by our skin and gravity and hard things. Like, we chose that, So I think it's just part of the experience.
Totally. Like we die if we don't sleep or have water. Like we're really limited. This is crazy. It seems dramatic for
Anytime I
limitless
see things,
soul.
oh, sorry. I think mine kind of lags a little behind yours.
Oh, that's okay.
College laptop
We
today.
doing our best. Oh gosh.
This is my college laptop. It's thick and it is fighting for its life. Kind of like
It's
me.
like I didn't train for a video podcast, queen. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna give you one. Let me think for a sec. What did you get really, really, really excited about?
Before it happened or after it happened? Like something I got excited in anticipation for or something I was excited for after the fact and
I think
celebrating?
given the fact that the question added three reallys, just whatever was the peak excitement.
Uh, Europe.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
Just in
that
general. I
before
know
or
that's kind of
after?
like before for sure. After was a deep depression.
This lag is gonna kill me. I'm sorry if I
I
interrupted you.
know, it's so bad. It's so bad. But you know what? Every time we encounter any kind of resistance with this podcast, I'm like, we're just showing the universe our commitment.
That's
And this will
true.
continue to rise and thrive. Just wait until our lighting next week.
Dude, when I have a ring light and you can see my eyes and not just deep shadows on my face that like skew my bones, it's over for you, H's.
It's over.
Okay,
Amazing.
so we have a topic and a game left. Would you like to go to the game? Well, I don't know if it's a game, but it's a silly section.
Yeah, let's start with all the fun stuff today and end with the topic.
That's generally our jam. Okay. So the silly aside we have planned is because the thesis of this podcast is, hey, this is a space and a community for material girls that are also spiritual girls, not necessarily identifying as one or the other. So this section is, what are things we like to do that our material girly side loves and maybe the spiritual girlies wouldn't love as much? Fair?
Yep, that's perfect.
Do you want to go one by one or do our whole lists?
Whole list.
Okay, you go first.
Mine's pretty short because I feel like I dumped it all last night, and then this morning I was like, ooh, what is it really? Okay, wait, I have to ask this real quick. Is our general audience women?
I would guess GGTs, girls, gays, and theys, but listen, Fred's listening.
Fred's listening. My friend Justin is listening.
Thank you, Justin. Hi, Fred. So who knows?
Hi,
GG
Fred.
loving men. No, I live for Fred. Fred, thank you for being there.
We'll say like conscious men.
Yeah, great.
This definitely isn't for the bros, but
no.
Yeah, it's for the people that are in that in between of like spiritual and materialistic, living in the real world and reflecting on life spiritually.
Very that. Yes.
I just had to bring in our boys.
No, I love, honestly, I have been healed and scaffolded by straight men. I have some very, 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 very
Healed
special
and scaffolded.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to make that merch.
Yeah, no,
I have been healed and scaffolded by straight men. I feel like that's going to piss some people off.
What's new?
What's new? Everything is a trigger. Okay, here's mine. Household cleaning items, i.e. Clorox, bleach. I'm using regular laundry detergent. Everything's got dyes in it. Nothing is paraben free. Fast fashion. I do not buy, I shouldn't say I do not thrift shop, but I'm buying new more often than not. And I'm buying fast fashion cheap shit.
Do you, queen?
That's gonna just make a lot of people mad, honestly. But it's me. Seed oils and red dye 40. I don't get why everyone's mad at seed oils. Like sunflower oil, what's wrong with her? Nothing. Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. But here's really the piece that I think it comes down to for me is that things like this, like bleach and seed oils and hair dye, doesn't affect your health unless you have a sense that it does or you buy into that it does. So now it is part of your filter and belief system. Because this is what's really affecting all of this.
Right? She's pointing to her brain if you're an audio listener only.
I'm pointing to my brain. Yeah. Is that even an option? Audio listener only?
Up to our audio listeners, dang.
Dang. Men and audio listeners, we do see you.
Look at me coming through for the underdog.
Oh, so good. So, let's see. Did I have any other ones? I dye my hair. I use fragrance. I don't wear only cotton, and I eat animals.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my list. Let me just give the caveat, like to people that are ex seed oils, then it came through for you. You know, like maybe it is bad for your body. But the shame around eating gluten or seed oils or red dye, I'm like, girl, you're joking.
I just have one comment on your list, and that's whoever doesn't like seed oils in your world hurt you. You can love seed oils.
You can love them again.
That's my older girl wisdom, is I care a little bit less about pissing off people with this list, but ready for my list?
Yes.
First one's for sure Botox. I will inject Botox as much as I want, and honestly, way more if I had unlimited money and time. I just don't have time. So,
honestly, way more.
Yeah, I love Botox. It is expensive. And last time I went, actually 2 times ago I went, I said, go ahead. I'm not looking for natural. I usually want the natural look. I'm going to do a photo shoot. And I just think it'd be fun, NCUNTY, to look plastic. And then she put so much in, my eyebrows dropped. It was a mess. I looked insane. I went back and I was like, hey, I know I directed that. That looked crazy. Don't do that again. But more than this would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, Botox. I've got drinking out of plastic water bottles, and even famously reuse the same plastic water bottle at my workout classes constantly, such that someone said, I'll buy you like a Stanley. And I said, I have one at home. I just like reusing this plastic one. Third is Forever 21. I wear my old Forever 21 clothes. They're vintage at this point, though. So they're just
I
plastic.
still have Forever
But
21
clearly
clothes.
plastic. Oh, for sure. And
For
I don't
sure.
think my plastic water bottles or clothes do anything to me. So clearly my body and plastic do great.
Yeah.
My house is full of fake trees. That's one. Next is when I worked at that company that only served billionaires. That's for sure one. And then I added a caveat, and generally my career for the last 15 years, for sure that. Three more. One time when I shared at a breathwork session, okay, the context is everyone was sharing after that they were traumatized and they were releasing all their trauma and they were in shadow and it was so dense. And I was like, my share was just, I was happy and chilling. I felt joyful at the session and I didn't want to perform being traumatized that day. I am
Amazing.
traumatized. I was happy. I was having a nice time.
I
Okay.
loved that. I love that story because I can just see the whole room as a vibe and you being like, I really liked it. That was so good. Thank you, Alex.
Literally, thank you for the community. I was like, I came in joyful and loved to experience this beautiful session with this community. But people were okay with it, but some weren't.
Yeah.
Last two, one is that I speak urgently and quickly. I don't think spiritual people live for that. You're supposed to be more calm, but that's not my vibe. And then my
Yeah.
last one is wearing makeup to my workouts.
Mm, I love that about you.
Cat eye at a workout slays.
Yeah.
I will always listen. It's not for anyone. When I go to my women's only gym, knowing the times when people won't be around, I still wear makeup to my workouts. I just like leaving my house looking my best. I don't know. If I'm going to stare at a mirror for an hour, I might as well look gorge and have
Might
a
as well
cat
look
eye.
slay. Yeah. It's going to make you lift better. It's going to make your posture better.
Be motivated.
We're thinking about next time doing things that we do spiritually that are material friends. But here's the thing, they wouldn't judge. It's usually just like, what the are you talking about? I'm really going to have to
Correct.
go through and edit cuss words today.
What the flip
What
are
the
you talking
flip,
about?
Fletch?
I actually think, okay, just to expand on that for a second, I think true spiritual people also live for the material girly stuff,
Amen. It's the
really.
spiritual community.
And you can tell, yeah, you can tell if someone's performing spirituality if they're mad at you for having a plastic water bottle. But really aligned, I know that's well, not your favorite word, but really like generally
I
aligned,
like it.
high vibration. It sometimes it really, it's like
It's
it's
important. It's an
conveying,
important word.
yeah, it's conveying what I mean. A genuinely aligned high vibration person absolutely lives for my cat eye at the gym. I promise that. The most
Yeah.
very, very, very magical, spiritually evolved people totally live for you being yourself. But yeah, that the community of
Mm.
material girlies that are annoyed by spirituality have their own thing. And the
Ooh,
community of,
annoyed by, yes, there it is. There it is.
right,
It's
inner
not,
direction.
I guess it is a flavor of judgment, but it's annoyance.
Kinda.
It's like, okay, we get it. You're in tune. I'm like, come on, I know you want me to pull you a tarot card. Sit down.
The way I get tasked with jobs at your parties, though. Yeah.
Yeah. It's annoying until I'm the party clown.
Yeah. I'm like, by the way, or
LOL.
the second they get sad, I'm on deck for a session. Like, so,
Absolutely.
which I live for, but you do like my services then, baby.
So good.
Okay. That was a fun one.
That
I
was
like that.
fun. All right, should we hit our main topic?
Let's do
I'm
it.
so excited to hear your thoughts on this. So, I Was this one I put in the notes? I feel like it was.
It
Yes?
was.
Okay.
Yep.
I put in the notes our little shared note on topics we want to discuss. Why us humans can't ever seem to be okay with just coasting. Not to be confused with presence and stillness and meditation and joy, but like we generally don't do well with stagnation. And it almost seems like humans can't
Mhm.
be in that for a while without slipping into depression. I, I'll stop there. There's the topic overview. I would love to know what came up when thinking about that for you before I even share anything,
Mhm.
because when I put that in there, it was more so I wanted to know your thoughts on it, not your thoughts on
Yeah.
my ideas about it.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I love this topic. And I saw it in the notes as a potential topic. Then I came across, I'm going to read something online, a tweet I saw that reminded me that that was in the notes. And that's when I
Mm,
texted you, let's do this.
mm,
So at Sue_SU_dream says, I wonder if the reason we get addicted to self improvement is because fixing ourselves feels safer than admitting we might already be enough.
mm.
And I was like, man, this is how I've been constructing this topic. I hope this is kind of in line with what you're thinking of.
It'll
This
be
is self
perfect.
improvement. Yeah. So I was thinking about self improvement, and my reflection is going to lead to an answer that says I don't have all the answers. A lot of things I've thought through, and I'm like, here's my big plan, so I'm doing it right. Something about constant self improvement and a feeling of innate unworthiness are intricately tied. And
Mm,
I know that I haven't mastered this worthiness yet. So I was thinking about my life progression related to this topic. And I lived in San Francisco in like 2012-ish timeframe, so a while ago now. And so astrocartography lovers, that's on my Venus line. It's a really beautiful, all down
mm.
California is a beautiful place for me, which is fun because everyone's like, you're such a Cali girl. And I feel that.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful part of the country for my energy. So I lived in San Francisco. That's a story for another day, is my theories on which eras we're obsessed with and our consciousness in that era from a previous life. But my previous life in like the Haight Ashbury 60s is so prevalent in this consciousness. I feel like I'm learning the same lessons. So I was out in Haight Ashbury. Do you know what Haight Ashbury is, Ashley?
No.
So Haight and Ashbury are both streets. They're so like the intersection of the two streets is the kind of center of this neighborhood outside of San Francisco. And in the 60s, it was like the big hippie revolution. It was like the big, Janis Joplin singers and
Mm,
the everyone's doing drugs and playing songs and like super conscious and on psychedelics. And it was this epicenter for culture and art and hippie movement in the 60s. As a child, I just wanted to live in Haight Ashbury. I don't even know how was aware that was a thing. And then I moved there
wow.
as soon as I could. It just was important to my soul to get back there.
Aw, that's
Yeah,
so cool.
it really is. It was incredibly important for me to be there. And I mean, I kind of know why, but so I went to a peace festival. I'm getting back to the topic quickly. I went to a peace festival to volunteer just to make some friends that were in that kind of vibration. And I met someone named Sai, still to this day, one of my wonderful closest friends that has healed and scaffolded me through my
Oh,
life. And he's older than me and he's very shamanistic. From more astrology, he's a South Node Pisces,
okay.
North Node Virgo. So South Node Pisces people are pretty innately spiritual, or can be, and they're seeking to kind of ground in. I'm actually the exact opposite. I'm South Node Virgo, North Node Pisces. So we're kind of like yin yang people. But he was further along in his spiritual evolution than I was. He's older. He'd experienced more. He'd heard a lot more. He was a very, very expansive spiritual person for me, and is, always has been. So at some point he goes, you're so worthy because you are. You don't need to be something different to be worthy. And I was triggered. I was mad, fuming mad at him. Like,
Mm,
this way, this ego construct I have is that I can outperform everyone else with determination and thereby have worth. So if you're going to strip that away from me and say, you're just
It
worthy, you
means
don't have to do
nothing. Yeah.
anything, then who am I? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to be lovable? How do I think of who I am? And I just crashed out. I was I also just wanted him to find me valuable in the way that I understood value,
Mm,
and really
that's
wanted
big.
his,
That's a big part.
yeah, and I wanted his acceptance and his outsized regard, and I just didn't feel confident that I could get that. Well, all to say, over the years since then, we've remained friends. And funny enough, have I mastered this need to become better, to self-improve, to have worthiness? I don't think I have. I think I've thought about it more. I've brought more of this to my conscious awareness. I've given myself more space to just be a person that's worthy, but I haven't mastered it. And then the universe has shown with our relationship over the past 13, almost 14 years, whatever, that this person has seen me messy. He's just shown up for me a bunch of times when I'm the most vulnerable, not literally, but like, for example, one time I went through this terrible breakup and I was just in a dark headspace, just that like right after it happened, just sitting in my house, like stewing, dying. He texts me, "Hey, are you okay? Your energy is dark." I'm like, "Ah, I'm so sad. I'm so sad
Sigh.
you."
This is
Yeah, he's
wow.
very, very magical. I kind of want him on the pod at some point.
I was gonna say, what does he do, and is he willing to come on here?
He in my opinion, if he ever hears this and he disagrees, we can talk about it. In my opinion, he's like the true hippie. He was like, I think, in and out of a commune back then. He did massage for a while. He's very much a wanderer. He's in school. He's trying to, right, he's North Node Virgo, so he like went back to school. He's done tons of really cool things, but
Mm,
he's so much more comfortable with that liminal space that I'm not. And in fact, our lives haven't been intertwined in like physical reality. We couldn't maintain like, being partners for life or something, because I think I need that stability, material worldness
yeah.
so much more than he does. But he's just interesting, and he's so ethereal. You almost like, when I would see him back then, I almost perceive him as like glistening. Like he's just this totally ethereal
Little
person.
Edward Cullen boy.
Kind of like that. Like he's got like his hair locked, like big long locks, and he's Filipino and like beautiful, and just he's a dancer, and he like walks like majestically. Anyway, yeah. So this person who said you're worth
Yeah.
everything just as you are, and I said no, see me for my ego. And then over all these years, every time I'm out of my ego polished self and more. I mean, we talk all the time, but he's there reflecting to me how loved I am. And I think the last text he sent me is just, I love you and I always will. And I was like, did something happen? He's like, no, period.
So
Like,
cute.
oh, okay. And so, yeah, he's taught me a lot about worth. And so I'm going to stop there and have you reflect on that. What do you think generally? It's not really poignant and insightful. It's just my journey is challenged with this topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this topic is so interesting, and it's poignant because it is simple and unpoignant.
Yeah.
It's just like something to wonder about. And something that I'm curious about that came up is like astrology and his journey versus your journey. To be in alignment, you would be moving in opposite directions. And his comes from this place of stillness and contemplativeness, and not being in busyness and go, go, go feels very natural. And why would that belief not come from there? Where you're like growing into that, which is a whole
Mhm.
different ball game, but it comes back to the same thing of just like, I don't know, I'm curious what, like, because that's not going to shed for him. He's going to always feel that way, I'm sure, despite what he accomplishes.
Mhm.
It just has me curious about different people and personalities' experience of this worthiness, which is just something to ponder on. What really stood out from the tweet you read to me was the word safer. When it feels safer to read me the last part again. Actually, just read me the whole thing again.
Yep. I wonder if the reason we get addicted to self-improvement is because fixing ourselves feels safer than admitting we might already be enough.
That's such an interesting line. Fixing ourselves feels safer than admitting we might already be enough. Like, how could seeing that we're in the wrong feel safer than admitting we're already enough? And yet it resonates so much. Like, if I've arrived, then what?
Right.
Then what's next? And that's kind of where I feel like I am, is in my 3D world. I've arrived. I have this loving boyfriend. I bought a house. I have savings, and I'm building a business that is in line with my passions. And yet, I still wake up exhausted and sometimes just don't want to be alive. Not that I want to unalive, but just like, dang, can't wait for this all to be over.
Yeah, this
And it's
journey.
just crazy. And I find solace in those spaces of what's more. What part of me have I not seen, in hopes that it will bring some level of fulfillment. And I think maybe like fulfillment and enoughness and worthiness all kind of, they're not synonyms, but they dance and overlap very well. I don't know, because whenever I sit with like, well, I am here and I am enough now, and what I've done is enough, and I have met goals, it's like, okay, then so what? Then that begins to feel depressive and stagnant. And so not that I believe this, but I think that we as humans have that in us, almost that like battle of, we are here to grow and move, like what we were talking about at the beginning, move through the limitations and the stagnations to become and to remember. But then at the end of the becoming and the remembering is just realizing that it was there all along. Just like being present more throughout our lives. Like, it's just weird, and it's such a complex idea.
Totally. So the presence is exactly where I was going with the line of thinking around safer, right? I'm perceiving safer is because you can do something about it. You can distract, you can act, you can get in your masculine da 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 da. Imagine if you're not acting, then what? You're totally present. If you're totally present, or stagnant's come up for you like a billion times. You got to research that garage stuff.
For real. Got to get in my garage.
Sit there with the scorpions and the rattlesnakes and just think it out. No, but if you're present, right, you're exactly where you are. So your darkness, your yuckiness, your ugliness, your traumas are just sitting with you. And that's beautiful, right? From the higher perspective, our presence and our ugliness and our shadow is stunningly beautiful. Like from our spirit selves to see our human selves
they want it, crave it.
Right. Is like a divine, sought after, extraordinary experience. So if you're just present and you're just worthy and you just are, then you are all the things. You can't have this shield to yourself to say, yeah, this ugly, stupid thing where I'm just drinking plastics and vain and I just want Botox. Like that part, if you're in self-improving, you're like, well, I can just reject that part later when I continue to evolve. What about just saying, I love that I sometimes crash out, or that I am not capable in this way, or I cannot blah, 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 blah. That just feels murkier and more challenging. Does that resonate in the context of safer for you? That's just kind of what's coming up for me as I'm thinking through it.
Yes. And it's weird because it's almost, there's this really fine line that I'm thinking about while you're sharing that, of when I go into growth, it usually involves looking at my shadow and my dark parts and loving them, but it's in the name, secretly, it's in the name of, once they've been seen and loved, they can loosen their grip and dissipate a little bit, and then I'll be better. And if I'm better, I'm more loved, and then I have safety, and then I have security. Like, it moves down this hierarchy of needs to that safety. But it's just interesting that for me, that perpetual need for growth is going to look at those dark parts, but not just to look at them and just be with them and see them, but to see what do they need from me? How can I love them? How can I accept them so that I can be better and so that they're not so glaring?
Yeah,
So
right, to
that
change it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that I think that is where that does feel safer. Because if I just let him be, then what if I'm not lovable? What
Mhm.
if it's too much for people? What if I lose friends? What if I lose my partnership? What if it means I'm manic or schizophrenic? Like all these
Mhm.
things come up. If it's too much, then then I'm literally unsafe. I could
Yeah.
I could trail that all the way to like my physical survival for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, I was thinking as we are talking about this of a God figure, whatever that means to you, or your guardian angel or your higher self, looking down on us, being messy and making mistakes with such love and adoration, sort of how I could look at my niece and nephew doing
Mm.
some toddler thing and I'm like, "Oh, they're individuating or they're exploring this part of their psyche. Good thing they're I love that my little niece Romy has a voice or she seems like this big bold character. I want a little girl in our family to be strong and powerful." So maybe there's some exercise we can all do listening
Mm.
where we spend a little time with that presence, with that worthiness of ugliness, not saying, I accept you so I can integrate you, change you. Like, say for the rest of our life, we're murky and we mess up, we're still worthy, which is very, very strange to think of, but maybe we just sit with it because a God, a higher self, a guardian angel, our unconditionally loving partners, human partners, love our crash outs. It isn't doesn't mean we want to sabotage our life, but it's we're totally worthy, even if we're imperfect.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Mm.
Oh, that was such a good topic.
Do you think you'll continue to self improve? Because I will, and totally not be able to integrate this.
Am I going to integrate this? Probably not. No, I actually really like that invitation, and in my healing era that I'm in right now, I think it will come up even more of just like
Mhm.
letting it be because as these
Mhm.
shoulds have started to drop, more is surfacing and yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. And simultaneously, I will continue to perpetually self-improve too much. And it's so funny. I was looking at my Spotify Wrapped and it was like, you read 14 books this year and 12 of them were self-help. And I was like, dang, my goal was to read one fun book, one self-help book, one fun book, one self-help book. And I was like, oh, I failed at that.
I failed by developing too much.
Yeah. So it's just funny. That is my shadow is perpetually excelling. And that's a little
Yes.
shadow ego overlap. That's fun.
That's like everything. I was thinking of, so I was sitting earlier in my yard, just listening to the tree with Ollie in the sun. It was beautiful. And I was just laughing at how much I've suffered to try to build this life for my ego when all I want to do is sit in my yard and listen to the tree with my dog. Everything
Oh, I just
I've
got
tried to
chills.
achieve, I was just thinking how funny it is. I have such anxiety and destabilization in my soul right now because of this big transition. And I am shedding an old identity, which was supporting a life
Where
where
you
I
do
didn't
this.
sit in the yard. And I don't need money and power or regard or ego to sit in the yard and listen to the tree with my dog. I just need presence and a second. That was
Yeah.
funny. It's just a little loosely tied to that, but it's like think of a lot of the self improvement we're doing is ego related, which is totally fine. Again, we love ego on Parallel Paths podcast. It's
She's our bestie.
deeply like, so quick aside as we're wrapping up is we need a name for our audience, but I can only think of PPs and I hate that.
Peepees.
No.
It's, honestly, I think that someone is gonna be more creative than us
For sure. Thank
and leave a
God.
comment and say, "I'm
Fred,
a" yeah.
Fred. No, no pressure, Fred. Fred, no pressure. We're good. I'm just teasing.
Also, I need other people to comment because we have listeners, and I'm like, one of our podcasts had 20 listens, and I said, "Who are you?
I
Who
love
are you?"
all 20, sending you love, and if that goes
Yeah.
up to like 20,000 one day, I'm still gonna remember the first 20.
Yeah. First 20 are the OGs.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
so fun. I'm so excited to see how this container expands from just podcast to community to events to courses to like who knows. It's just cool the things that we naturally settle on talking about and the interwovenness of our lives, rather the parallels
Oh,
in our
girl.
lives. Why am I going to say
Girl.
interwovenness when I could say
That was
parallel?
crazy.
Oh, but that's a perfect wrap up unless you have anything else to add.
It's perfect. The parallel paths are pathing. Guys, we
We're
love you so
pathing.
much.
Yay.
Please consider being the 21st listener.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
Love
yeah,
you.
yeah. Please, if you enjoy this podcast, please follow us and rate it. That helps us a lot. It helps Spotify push our show out to more people, which we love it.
Like, share, comment, tell your friends. We love it. We'll see you next week
Yay.
on Parallel Paths. Bye.
Okay, bye.